Hello, everyone from the VOD. Got a special stream for you today. Good morning, good morning. Brickmaster. Gotta finish this wacky muffin I made. Put the wrong mix in it and I can taste it. Sweeter than it should. Oh, so fun. The music that you are hearing right now is the latest and greatest Second Dawn ambient track. Yeah, that should be what's in the background of the stream today. There we go. Great. All right. So we go outside and we work on what needs to get done for this Jotun dungeon set. Alright, here we go, testing the camera. I just got an airbrush to try out. I've always wanted to give one a go. Oh, airbrush, so like... Alright, let's give it tested what this looks like. Alright, that's outside. Oh, hey there. How's it going? You can see me. I'm going to My goal by New Year's is to embody the old man painter from Toy Story 2. I mean, that's some solid goals right there. Oh yeah, he's not even a villain. He's just like hired to fix a problem. Isn't he the same old man who plays chess in the park? Yeah, these are getting sticky. I gotta put another pass of Mod Podge on these. Do I have a cup for my blades? I do not. Okay, so they have to go in a safe place. They go right there. Hades. Okay, so what we're working on today? We're working on the Jotun dungeon because projects take forever. I rub off the fuzzies after I paint it, and then they just pull paint off of them. That's my life. This one's dry, got some fuzzies. It's fine. We'll repaint those fuzzy spots. Okay. Guys, I got a GoPro out here now. How fucking great is that? You can see me. So the stone door, it's drying a little bit down here. But there's the doorway. And the goal is to have one of these be the, yeah, it's meant to be this. So we need to make that into the base. Or did we agree? Oh no, that's going to be down there. This is going to be, so it's going to be kind of like a mini archway. Can you tell? So yeah, the bases of those are drying. This is going to become a thing. This has been drying for a couple of days. Maybe a week now. That was just because I accidentally cut the piece wrong and I had to glue it back together. It dried a little indented, nothing a bit of shaving won't fix. Cool. So the main pillar, the LED pillar, which this is the base, we take an LED, shove it in, got a good shot there, put the acrylic in here, and we capture the light. Now the goal is to have something like this. What does that look like on camera? Oh, that looks pretty sick. Even in person, it looks pretty sick. But I do think it needs, yeah, it needs like a back to it. Here's with a back, without a back. Yeah, it makes a difference.
Do you have on enough layers?
For now.
Okay, I don't want you to freeze or get sick.
Thank you. But yeah, I have a couple of these. And they're just, you know, arcane magic pillars. UMBRAL! And the LED colors, because they can be controlled by a remote. Do I have the remote around me? Turn this on. See if we can do a test. Run away, Subway Snake! Run away! Yeah, there could be another remote somewhere in here. Don't know where I keep my remotes. I haven't looked for them in a while, so I haven't confirmed if it's a good spot. Found one. So, can it read through the foam? No, but it reads through the acrylic. Good to know. So we can be in a lava. Let's do that, so you can see. So we can be in a lava Jotun dungeon, a forest one, a cloud one. There we go. Desert. Yeah. So we really get to control the look off of this. And even if we're in a volcanic one, I can change the color and go, something's happening. I think it's infrared. It's probably infrared. Yeah, it's infrared. And then the only way to get the LED out is to push it. Until I find a better way to doing it. So when it comes to putting this on, these have to glue onto the acrylic, which means I want to make sure that the painting of these are done, and then I glue them on. And then I will probably take some black paint and just paint the back of this versus adding a whole new thing on the back. That makes the most sense to me. I probably won't glue the acrylic in there, so I can always pull it out and not break it while it just sits around. That'll also help me have a thing that I can just push a little bit to get the LED out. That's my thinking. So these are ready for the next pass of painting, basically. Probably put some Mod Podge and some more primer on there. Get rid of these little bit of fuzzies. And those pillar wings are ready. Pillar base is good. How's this pillar base? It's drying. I can, as long as they're all in range of the remote. But the infrared does travel through the acrylic, which is nice. I do have to cut another one of these. So we can do that right away. Dremel tool, Dremel tool. There we go. Metal, plastic. Yep. I need the whole head. There we go. Yeah, for those who weren't there when I just started the stream, the music that you're hearing today is the new and latest Second Dawn theme music for the ambient background. It's not the motif, it's actually the ambient that would loop and play in the background. Second Dawn is the current era of the world. So when we make ambient tracks, Ivan and I are thinking there's an exploration track and a chase track. So an action and a calm. And this is the calm. He's currently working on the chase version, the action version of the Second Dawn. The final version of Lost Mine and Colossus uses both Second Dawn tracks and Age of Thunder tracks, which makes up most of the music. Can't get this thing off. And then the final tracks for Lost Mine and the Colossus, which we will get to in January, so he doesn't work over the holiday, is core class themes. So a fighter calm, a fighter action. And the idea is, I like calling like the fighter one called Brave or Bravery. So when players are, specifically the fighter class, is being brave, or it's their time to shine, that theme will play. I could use a smaller marker, not this huge chungus. Let me grab a marker. Oh, do I have one right here? Sure do. And same thing with mage, thief, and priest. but rather than naming them off the class, the idea is to name them off the action of the class. So praying, sleuthing, bravery, studying, so that the story cue to the music for the core class themes is more action than just, well, it's the wizard, so it's let them have the music. So like if the ranger is sleuthing or if the fighter is sleuthing, we use the sleuthing music. Trying to make sure I don't hurt myself. This is how it's gonna go. I hate that it just rolls upward towards me. So I want to do it this way. I gotta get a vise. It's like the only way to do it is let it shoot up into my face. I hate that. I just have to get a safety mask. I did it right out of frame too. For relaxing moments, travel, talking scenes. Oh yeah, 100%. That's what this one is good for. We actually had a whole version made. And then like a few days later I came back and said we kind of have to redo it. Because it was nice and it matched the motif perfectly. But it didn't click right in the brain. We did it. We Dremeled our way through it. Where's the box? Sandpaper, sand sponge. And then after we get, so the plan for the music right now, so we have Explore, Second Dawn, which is what we're listening to. Then we're going to do Chase, Second Dawn, which is somewhere between this, currently in my mind, is somewhere between this and like Witcher 3 action vibes. Then we have the core classes: Bravery, Sleuthing, Praying, Studying. After that, we are going to do ambient tracks for the Wild, which goes to Cocaine Owlbear. So if you haven't seen Cocaine Owlbear Uncut, which is phenomenal, the edited version is going to have the Wild theme in it. Then, after the Wild, we're going to go into making the UMBRAL ambience. And I want to make a goal for this month to set up in Patreon and YouTube members for you guys to get to be able to just listen to the motifs. I'm trying to find a good way to have that up on the Discord. Discord doesn't seem to have a really good like media player library kind of situation. Even for like 1 to 2 minute clips. So for those who don't know, the reason why we're sanding the acrylic from clear to faded or frosted is because clear doesn't catch the light, it just allows light to pass through. Where all these micro grains and cuts that are made to make it look frosted are actually just enough of a groove that catches light and photons to lift the LED light up through it. And we want to make multiple directions, like really messy. So there are a bunch of different possible grains. Because in one way to think about it, we're not seeing the light, we're actually seeing the shadow casted from the light. Or the caustic, really. Yeah, there's a bunch of little cuts on this now. It's almost like purposefully getting fingerprints put onto your phone screen. There we go. Yeah, basically the same. Great. So now, I want to replicate this on here. Off the bat, because of the way we clamped it, this is bulging. So let's sand that down. Great. Now we bevel the edges. If a chunk comes off, that's good. Typically. There we go. So these need to get glued. Roll it around, spread that glue. Line them up best you can. There we go. And in a couple days, they'll get a destruction pass, which is going to be nice. So these are going to sit, these little archway pillars are going to actually sit on top of these, kind of to the back. And I don't know if I have it here. Let me grab my fire. So the hope is we can put, okay, so that won't fit. This will fit. And you can put a fire on top. Balance it just right. Yeah, you can put one of those up there. You can change that out for a green fire. Or you can have one off and, you know, put a gargoyle there. Pretty great. So let's roll up some texture. This side's going to be a little tough. There we go. Fantastic. A little bit on top. Sideways. That's a nice contrast. And I'll just leave it blank down here. Okay. Roly, roly, roll. And where the gaps are between the different rolls, that's where I'm going to take the tin foil and cause a lot of destruction. And then the top. There we go. They look great. You just gotta get beaten up. Great. You can just see the difference. One looks like it's made out of rock, one doesn't. As a dungeon master or player, what things frustrate you in a game? Ooh. Getting stuck on a detail. I think the best way to word that is the type of detail, right? If we're trying to determine the velocity of a thing or the angle of a spell or something like that, if we are hung up on how this mechanic would work without any in-game justification to talk about, oh wait, because the wild and the umbral work this way, that actually can't work that way, so how would that work, right? So without a in-game, in-setting justification to stop and question the rules or like get stuck on a rule, and it's just us being stuck on a rule, that's a really frustrating thing because it feels like everything stops. And sure, if we have a setting motivation like well, you can't plane shift because there are no planes in your setting. Okay, so can the spell work? Yeah, it does stop the game, but we're answering a question that adds value to what we're doing collectively. I think that's one of the bigger things for me. I think if another player is stuck on like trying to put puzzle pieces together and they're stopping the game for that, they're like, oh, they're trying to put pieces together and make sense of a thing. It might feel like we're stopping the game for a single player, but this player is putting a lot of energy and thought into the game. That's okay. It feels like we're stopping, which we kind of are, but we're stopping for someone who's having a lot of fun in putting something together that could benefit all of us or move the story forward. That's okay. Another frustrating thing. Surprisingly, one of the weirdest frustrations I have with D&D is being able to split your movement between your actions. As a DM, when you have to move minis around, it gets frustrating. If, as a player, you can kind of forget, it's kind of tactically nice that you can go up, do something, and then move around. I mean, I'm kind of in the bandwagon of like, you use your full movement to do a thing. Whether it's you get up to 30 feet to do a thing, to move somewhere, and you do an action. I'm in the bandwagon of that. If there's a bonus action involved, I'm okay. Splitting the movement between your actions, that does get a little frustrating because it feels like you're doing a lot more than what you are supposed to do with a turn. It just feels that way, even though you're not. Another frustrating thing as a player or dungeon master. For player, when the dungeon master doesn't tell you what you need to go do. It can be a little cryptic, and that's okay. But it has to be clear. Great example. In my Ravenloft adventure, I often have the opening statement is, what you seek is at the heart of the castle. It's worded that way because it sounds like you have to go to the center of the castle. The center of the castle is where you find the book that tells you you have to stab the heart. So to actually finish the quest, we have to destroy the heart. Got it. It's a literal heart. And that's fun for the reveal. But even though that's cryptic, it was a clear goal up front. Go to the heart of the castle. Go to the center. And I'm using a different word that implies two different things that are going to come in play. And remember, all these things that I'm mentioning, I've done. And I've frustrated a DM, or I've been frustrated as a player, and that's what I keep note of to try to not do as much in the future. What else? I think there's like one big one that I can't think of. Oh, just I know some people can't because they have baggage, but every new DM should earn the trust of the players at the beginning, so that way, not earn, they should be given trust, and they should work to keep the trust. So you should trust a new DM. If they say something doesn't work, you can confirm, but you can go, are you even though I have this ability to do things, and the DM can go, yep, and you go, okay, am I able to understand why? You can ask those questions, but you don't go, but that's not how the game works. Well, it doesn't matter how the game works. The dungeon master is a referee. The referee tells you how the game works. If you're playing football, the referee tells you that you pulled on another player or held, you gotta take the penalty. If you go fight the ref, you get timeout. The ref is the ref. It doesn't matter what people say on Reddit or what the game designers had clarified on Twitter. It's the DM's interpretation. And in many ways, if there's a better interpretation that sounds more exciting and more accurate by a player, the DM should likely lean on that. And it's just a yes and kind of situation, trusting each other and just going with the flow. Obviously, if something feels really wrong, you can, like I mentioned, ask twice, double check. And if the DM seems confident in their choice, trust them. And if they break that trust, then they break that trust. But trust them. Because that keeps the game moving. And I think as adults, or just as a medium that is constantly trying to compete with video games, not just Hasbro, but like your players just got done playing Skyrim, you know? Their brains are wired for something. And you want to give them the best experience. So the best thing you could do is make sure the game is moving. And if things that get in the way of that, you want to avoid, because they are very frustrating. So trust, patience, communication, just, yeah, those are the big things. Agency, I think, is a big one for me. Actually, the more I think about it, when my choice doesn't matter, like, if my choice doesn't matter, what am I doing here? I could be playing a video game that tells me I have to be somewhere. Like, I should be able to mess it up. That's the whole point. What's a great example of that? It's obvious that your agency is contextually, it can be contextually reduced, such as, hey, we're walking through a tunnel in a dark cave. There's not much we can do. That's the context of the situation. Totally fair. But through that, if someone has the ability to do something or achieve something interesting, we should allow it. Or at least allow the attempt. Then, but if I'm like tied up and there's a big monologue from a bad guy talking to another player, I can ask, hey, can I try to undo my ties? If the DM goes, well, there's a lot of people watching, and then they go back to their monologue, like you're arbitrarily stealing agency. It's like, I understand there's somebody talking. While they are talking, my intent is to free my ropes around my wrist while people are watching. Okay, there's a roll for that. I can roll a stealth, or maybe I should just roll to see if I can break free and see what the consequences are. That's a big one. It's like, if the point of the game is not just dungeon crawling and, you know, pretend to be fantasy, but it's actually to have some form of, what are your choices? How do you want to solve this problem? If you can't even approach the problem because your agency is being arbitrarily taken away, dude, go play a different game. Go, all right, well, if I can't do anything, I don't want to sit here and just listen to a monologue for 30 minutes. So I'm gonna go watch a movie or play, I don't know, a video like Alien Isolation. Alien Isolation has almost no agency in it contextually because of the alien. But outside of that context, you could do so much to try to solve your problems. And it's like, that's where I think DMs need to compete with video games. It's like, if you can sneak by a xenomorph by using a noisemaker or a red flare, I can sneak by some orcs that are looking at me. Like it's a game. It's not real. And even if it was real, we roll the dice to see if I can get away with it. Clearly I've had some negative experiences around that, but that's often why I'll let players ramble on with their ideas and try something. Just because, let's see what you do. Let's see how you solve this problem. Even in a horror game, where I should technically not let you be doing things like this. In my session 0, I always say that playing the game is a social contract that involves trust and fairness from both sides. Agreed. A weird frustration thing I have, it's a really weird thing, is specifically in, there's a little bit of it in Shadow Dark. I've mostly experienced it in 5e. Is if I as a player forget to use my ability, one, you have other players going, oh, you should use your ability, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I forgot to push the button. I'll push it next time. You know? Let me allow that mistake. And see what stories come from it. That's what happens to Hallig early on in Curse of Amity Island. And a whole plot line evolves from that choice. I give him shit about it, but honestly, it's one of the most powerful plot lines in the series because of forgetting to push a button, you know, player wise. I don't like as a player that the DM will go, well, you have this ability, so you would know to use that, and therefore you get extra damage. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. You don't get to play my character. You don't get to just make that choice for me. You can remind me that I have that ability and ask me if I want to use it. Then I might say yes, and that's totally okay. Or I might say no. And it's like, okay. I'm not going to punish you for not making that more optimal choice. I'll just accept that you chose that. Yeah, it's fun. It's if you go watch the uncut of Lost Mines of Colossus. I think I leave it a little bit in the edited version. But there's a lot of times where Dale will forget to use ability. And that's totally okay. And she mocks the fact that she keeps forgetting. She's never punished for not doing an optimal thing. She's solely rewarded for doing something interesting, whatever it is. Because the thing that I really enjoy about the game is it allows people to think and problem solve and discover how much creative freedom they have. Because there's a lot of people that don't have that in their day-to-day. And so when they discover that, in the game. Oh, it's magic watching their brains realize, holy cow, I've never had the ability to do that before. It's an absolute treat. Fantastic. Now I can do a primer pass on these. Yeah, and they could be an archway. It could be like a small archway. Let's see how that would look. Well, that would be hard. Not that much space to walk. Unless I magnetize these, so I can take them off and they can just be a small archway. That'd be fun. Or then just put them apart and make them an archway like this. Yeah, that'd be fun. That's super simple. Adds a little bit more flexibility to these pieces. I like that. Those are drying. That's ready to go to paint. Those over there are drying. Those have to be repainted. These are good. How long am I streaming for? I can't tell. Don't know why. What time is it? Can't tell. Wait, I started at... Oh, it's only been like a little bit About an hour. Okay. We're still good. Going to look at are these. Because these need to get worked on. So this is technically one set right here. That's got to get painted. I'm going to paint this essentially stone gray, kind of like what I have like this. But I'm actually going to put brown on the top with some grass. So I have various like grass spots for my terrain. So that's nice. But on my gray rock version, I only have one of these medium sizes, and I want to make another one, and that's the same thing for all of them. So we need to cut up the sides and shave them off. This one's already been horizontally cut. Here we go. Gotta go. Hey man, gotta go. Have a great day. Great. So I bevel both sides. I do a small bevel on the bottom because it just helps some of the flaky pieces just not be there. There we go. And then we go through, make a nice long groove, push and peel. Push and peel. And we get some of these nice grooves in there. In the final version, you'll see something like this. Chance! Hi and bye, everyone. Still tapped at work. It's all good, buddy. Still has all my fingers. Winter Wolf, good morning. What am I crafting today? Well, buddy, at the moment, I'm working on some stone platforms because I want to make some more of these. I have various types to rock around. But I want to make another medium piece for all the different color terrains. Because I've been playing with them and I feel like I'm just a little short in pieces. On top of that, earlier in the stream, we're working on a bunch of ancient dungeon giant stuff. Like we got some archways here, or pillars, whichever one I want to use them for. We have an LED based arcane pillar that we're slowly working on. So do I do the right pieces? Yep. Slowly getting that put together. So yeah, I got a lot done in the first hour of the stream. So now I'm moving on to these rocks that have been just sitting here waiting for me to work on for a while. Looks like you're rocking it out. I make that joke all the time. Mostly off camera. When I go up to Allie, my girlfriend, and go, hey, I've been rocking out. Look at these rocks I made. Clean off some fuzzies. And that should be fine. Cool. So that's one. In isolation or different foam? Same foam. Hopefully the same color process. If I can remember the process correctly. And yeah, it's insulation. XPS, I think it's called. XPS. Go. Ooh, that's a big chunk. Gotta make it deeper now. XPS, thank you. Oh, hell yeah, that's fun. That's a great way of getting it. Just brings home the freaking scraps for you. It's a great friend. Yeah, foam can get expensive. We're going D&D Underdark. What is your Underdark? I always love hearing different people's interpretations of like different places. Like to me, Underdark is just underground. It could be in a cave, in a mine. It could be deep under the earth. It doesn't matter. It's all Underdark to me. It's just what I use as the mechanical term for being underground. Is Underdark something different to you? Underdark is the Loth style temple stuff. Heck yeah. In my setting, I have to remove Loth and spider related stuff because my girlfriend has arachnophobia and it's a pretty bad degree of it. So I was like, rather than trying to reskin it, I'll just remove it. It's way easier. It's a different cult. Ooh, yeah, that's a good motivation. Yeah, I've seen people make like Underdark scatter terrain, kind of like neon vibing, like pillars and rocks, like purples and pinks, to kind of get like, oh, you're so underground, it's alien kind of vibe. I've seen some of that, and it's just like rocks and no temple material. They probably just use what temple stuff that they have. But yeah, I haven't seen a dedicated like Underdark Loth style dungeon set. Are you doing tiles? Because the tiles for this ancient dungeon set I've been working on is this like magnetic set. I even got some corners made. Which is a lot of fun. Need to make like some scatter walls, but yeah, the tiles are great. And I use the Shadow Dark random dungeon generator with dice tied to those tiles. Using Magna blocks. Ooh, Magna. Yeah. That's fun. Wrong tool. Here it is. Yeah, painting Magna was fun. Here, let me show you mine. So it's essentially the same thing that's going on here, right? And the same thing that's going on here. The big difference is I used hot glue. Did I use hot glue? No, I used wood glue in the cracks to layer by layer smooth it out so it has a very soft fluid look in there, and then I painted layers in there so it looks rough and rocky out here and then smooth in there. And I did that to the whole set. And then for more lava, I don't know if you know how to do this. It's so much warmer inside. So I got one of these. It's all right. Color-wise, it's all right. But I basically hollowed out a piece of foam, stuffed it with baking paper, and then just filled it with hot glue, and then just guided the overflow. And then I used Mod Podge to make the texture on top. And they just painted as what made sense to my brain. Wrong tool, I'm gonna cut myself. Thank you. Yeah, I was really proud of how that came out. And how tedious steps, but how easy it is to get that effect once you like put the work into like understanding it. Really impressed with myself. Personal favorite paints are Army Painter. They're really nice paints. Yeah, everyone uses airbrushes. I don't. That's good to know that they work with airbrushes. Well, it makes sense because they just sell a thinner, right? I don't think it's called a thinner, but it's essentially a thinner so that way you can just put any paint you want in an airbrush. So that makes sense. Yeah, I use a lot of Army Painter and then Apple Barrel. Apple Barrel for like my main colors that I always use, so that way I can get big bottles for cheap. And Apple Barrel dries really fast. And that's mostly for terrain though. If I'm painting a mini, I will absolutely use Army Painter. I know some people like to use Citadel because you can kind of do like a wash in your first coat of paint. I painted a little bit like that, but depends on the mini. What's really nice are these Army Painter's terrain primers. They're wonderful. They're not perfect, but they're wonderful. Oh, there you go. Hey Chance, since you're watching this on VOD, hope you're having a great day. Hope you and the goblins are doing well. Lockness. There we go. We got rocks, guys. And they're uniform, which is kind of weird, but it helps build patterns and puzzles, which is nice. Great, so those can be, oh, they can't be primed yet. They need to be, they need texture. That's right. So let's put some texture on them. That's easy. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. If I have the texture. That was loud. Put this on. I gotta go get my texture. I guess it's out here. Ow. Just get in. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Just remember the giants, cause away. Those are natural uniformed rocks.
Oh.
Oh, there it is.
Wow. Good job.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So, and I just use my fingers. No, I don't use coffee actually. I should, but I don't. I do something dumber. I use black powder. Oh, not black powder. Whew. I use black pepper powder. That's what I've been using for the terrain. So I try to stick to the same thing. The problem is it clears my nose. You can't even see me do it. There we go. Oh, coffee to drink. I tried not to drink coffee in the morning. I have a decaf in the decaf? Yeah, I have a decaf coffee in the afternoon. It's a new thing. I do like my morning nice hot drink, but I don't like what it does to my heart rate, and it just sets me lately it's just been setting me up for not a great day, and having no coffee in the morning has been kind of fixing that. Maybe if I travel, or if like go have breakfast with somebody, I'll have coffee. But yeah, those have been my mornings. Great. They be textured. Heck yeah. I've been wanting to do that for a long time. Let me see something. Ugh. Oh, I feel you. So these foam blocks, which are 2 inches by 3 inches, the goal for these blocks, and I'm not going to get to these today, is essentially make bigger versions of these little ones. And so that way I can stack them together and kind of make cave pillars. I think I only need, how tall is this? Let's compare it to scaffolds. Yeah, so I'll make a 4-inch tall, I'll make a couple 4-inch tall ones. And then if I need a single one, I can stack them together. That'd be nice. Yeah, I got a lot of things to make. And those pillars are probably going to be gray rock and desert. Yeah, it would be gray rock and desert. I don't need to make them for lava or frost because I can put gray rock in those and they will look nice. Bookworm and Tea. Does this mean a Shadow Dark campaign is coming to this channel? Hey, you know. We got a few Shadow Dark games in on the hard drive. We have right now for backers we have an uncut version of a Shadow Dark Cocaine Owlbear game. I'm wrapping up the edit for Lost Mine and Colossus, which is a Giants themed game. I might get a couple B-roll shots with these minis, but that adventure is locking up. That's 5e, but Cocaine Owlbear is Shadow Dark, and that's going to be like a 4 to 5 episode adventure. It's a lot of fun. It's probably one of the wildest, funnest games I've ran. And then we have a huge, what is it, like 12, 14 hour of footage of a Shadow Dark version of A Knight's Tale. So we took A Knight's Tale, the movie, and ran a Shadow Dark game. It's the least Shadow Dark game. Looks like it's breakfast time. Enjoy your crafting. All right, Winterwolf, thanks for hanging out, man. I stream Thursdays and Sundays. But yeah, more Shadow Dark stuff's coming to the channel. That's the goal. I even have an idea of running some of the original 5e adventures in Shadow Dark, just to show you that, and show people that you can run Shadow Dark in D&D adventures. You don't need a Shadow Dark adventure. In fact, we have a one-shot that's Shadow Dark. It's uncut. It's public. It's essentially a twist on Ravenloft in the setting. It's a 1v1 where the player plays like 5 characters and they try to survive the dungeon. So we got rocks, pillars. These are ready for painting. Those are drying. These are drying. There we go. So these are drying. These are ready to be primed. These are primed. These could do it like a one more pass on the prime because of all the fuzzies. Yeah, I could clean the fuzzies and then do another pass for those. The archways are pretty good. They just need Mod Podge now. My archways for giants. Yeah, it's kind of like a bunch of priming that's got to get done. Okay, easy peasy. Oh. And the music you're listening to is composed for the setting. This is the Second Dawn ambient track. I'm working on having art made so that way I can release this music and you guys can enjoy it for your own D&D games, which is going to be fun, and Shadow Dark games. When I say D&D, I mean Shadow Dark and 5e, and pick a tabletop game. But yeah, I'm very much like all in on Shadow Dark and taking 5e adventures, making them for Shadow Dark, or adapting them for me to play them in Shadow Dark. And then I still need to run some like of the OG Cursive Scrolls adventures. I haven't run them yet, and I really want to. It's just they're going to be long. All right. Plans for upcoming streams. Let's look at the sketch pad. Pencil. Here we go. Oh, I have the colors for my terrain stone. That's great. Here we go. So for the I have the archways, LED pillars, basic pillars, tiles. So fallen scatter terrain and like prototype like corner walls and pieces of walls. Those are going to be nice. So I got to work on that. And I'm waiting for, did I purchase it? I don't think I did. Let me double check. No, I did not. I will in like a week when my next paycheck shows up. Yeah, I can wait. Black pepper. But I want to get some foam board, and that way I can make some spiral stairs and some straight stairs too. But I want to make some stairs for the Giant's Dungeon and for caves and stuff. Just make stairs. There is another creator bring up his name. He made a version of Spiral Stairs inspired by Black Magic Craft, but his version I really like. So I want to try to make that as well. Let's see. Can I find you in my subscriptions? There you are. Oh, where'd you go? Ryan Me DM. Ryan L Me LDM. I don't know what those are for. Ryan Me LDM, basically. He makes some great spiral stairs that I want to emulate.
Is that the Dixon Ryan that you're supposed
No, Ryan.
Oh, that is.
Bye. But I really enjoyed those. So I want to try to make some of those. Those seem really fun, and I think players would really like those. And I think it would match this set really well. I also want to get like flip side foam board project walls, presentation walls that kind of like for like school projects or science fairs. I want to experiment with making backdrops for my terrain. So I normally play on a 2-foot by 2-foot Lazy Susan that's just motorized and spins. And the scatter terrain's all fun and stuff, but in front of the DM screen, I would like, well, I've been slowly not using a DM screen, but so between me and the terrain, I would like to put like, if you think like theater, right? A back set. I want to put a rock wall for we're in a cave, or a tree line for if we're in the forest, or maybe some like half buildings glued together to kind of feel like a city. Something like that. I want to make stuff like that. That would be fun. A skyline. I want to experiment with that. Especially if I want to do more miniature photography for some like B-roll shots for these games, having a backdrop would go a long way. What's up?
Finish your pillars?
No, they're not finished, but they're like, you know,
You guys got farther.
we got a lot farther.
Exciting.
Yeah, a lot of stuff is getting done.
Hooray.
Hooray! That's the camera.
I know, and I also get to see information. Oh, I just realized I put my full face in the camera.
Yeah, you put your full face in the camera.
They just saw this of me being nosy. You get for putting your text messages right there also.
Yeah, well, don't read my text messages.
What did I think was on there? I don't know.
I don't know.
It was, I think the thumbnail caught me off guard.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
Yep. Okay. Bye.
Oh, my chat was hidden. There it is. All right. I'm going to call it here. I'm going to go have some breakfast. And then I got to do a lot of work. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your afternoon, your evening, wherever you are in the world. And in case, just in case, I don't see you, have a wonderful good night.